Alright, everyone. Hello, everyone watching this video in the year 2015. This is finally the Assassin's Creed Syndicate review on my part. I, getting chased by some homies back here. Yeah, so Assassin's Creed Syndicate just came out late October 2015, the newest Assassin's Creed game. This guy just, pushing me. So what I'm going to be talking about with this game is a couple things. Basically how good this game is on its own. I want to try to get rid of these guys. How good this game is on its own. How good is it compared to other Assassin's Creed games, the franchise, specifically Unity. See if I can Spider-Man over here. So yeah, there are a couple of things that I really like about this game. Honestly, this game is very, very refreshing. I mean, there aren't a ton of brand new things. There are new things, but they change things enough to make them feel refreshing compared to when playing Unity. I don't think Unity is that bad of a game. It's just very simplistic in a lot of ways. Didn't really have like a ton of flair to it. Like the big thing it had was its big crowds of people. It's kind of graphical PlayStation 4 power. But yeah, otherwise I didn't see like a ton of things that really blew me away, like gameplay things. With Syndicate, I feel like there are a lot of things that we're kind of changed. Oh, that great physics jump there. That's totally possible. But they change a number of things to make the game feel fresh. An Assassin's Creed game feel fresh, which is a big deal. One thing, of course, that many people know is there are two characters. I think I can change up here. I can switch to Jacob. And every time I switch it, it takes me out of the menu. But the thing about Jacob and Evie, personally, I don't feel that there are all that many differences, really. Evie's supposed to be the smart one that plans things out, that is good at, sneaking, and better at stealth. And Jacob is the guy that, is, the normal guy. He goes in and, guns blazing and joints blazing, fat blunts a-blazing, and he just fights people. But that's not really the case, I think, because I have messed people up more with Evie than I have with Jacob, and sometimes I've stealthed just as good with Jacob, just as well with Jacob as I did with Evie. And the thing about these two characters, right, is the skill tree. Some of these, like this, the red ones here in stealth, if it has a little red mark on it, it's Evie only. Such as Evie's stealth stat increases an additional 11, less likely to be detected. I feel as though Evie's personal skills way outweigh Jacob's. Another one with Evie, you can carry twice as many throwing knives. Twice as many throwing knives. You can have up to 20 throwing knives. That's, insane. Because throwing knives are really good, really fun to use. Another one, sneak mode. When you're in sneak mode, if you're stationary, you're invisible. Unless people are near you, they can't see you. That is... I'll tell you, I really like that, because some games, they just want to have it be not too... They don't want you to be too powerful, which I don't understand. Because if you're a master assassin, you want to be, a master assassin. You want to be better. You want to have like such an advantage over other people, other things in the game, which I haven't felt in past Assassin's Creed games, especially in Unity. Some levels later in the game, it just kind of felt like I didn't have that much of an advantage in combat. And combat's another thing I feel that they've improved in this game. I feel that when I get into a group of people, whether it's Evie or Jacob, I feel that I can fight my way out, which is something I just never really had confidence in. I never had that confidence with Unity. I felt when I was in a group of people, I kind of didn't stand a chance. I had to run away. There's no way I could just fight my way out here. Don't push me. Boom. But see here, some of the fighting and like assassinations are just wicked, disgusting, and brutal. Gotta have that violence in video games. Oh, right here's a rook. I'll get to the gangs a bit later. But with the stealth tree, it really feels as though Evie has the advantage, in my opinion. Because see, Jacob is just beating the crap out of people right now. Evie can do the same exact thing. And sometimes it's cooler. Well, whoever has the cane sword equipped, that has the cooler kind of more brutal, killing. But yeah, all in all, Jacobs are mainly more powerful attacks, I suppose. Counter shots or automatic headshots, and less damage, which makes Jacob more of a theoretical powerhouse. But at the same time, I could take some of these skills up to the second rank with Evie and I still feel just as good, honestly. But again, Evies are, stealth, throwing knives, which are better than, head-on combat. You can avoid head-on combat, which just feels more, which makes Jacob all that more unnecessary sometimes. And sneak mode is just, you don't even have to fight. You know what I mean? But if you want to go in and mess people up, I just don't feel like there's as much of an advantage with Jacob. Evie, if you want to go through stealth, there's so much of an advantage. But you go through Jacob, it just doesn't feel as much of that advantage. So one thing I just touched on, I passed a couple of my gang members here, the Rooks. Now the Rooks are new to Assassin's Creed Syndicate in the sense that, you pull up the map here, it's classic Assassin's Creed. You hit a couple over here I haven't done yet. These are like higher level areas. You hit the viewpoint, you kind of unlock different, parts of, let's say Lambeth. You come down in here. Now, there are four types of area clearing missions. There's the first, which is Bounty Hunt, which is new. It's kind of weird. Honestly, it's essentially Templar Hunt. You go in, you find like the leader, you kill him. But Bounty, you can kill them, but the purpose is this new weird mechanic of kidnapping people. Now let's see if I can find someone to kidnap. But again, you have like Gang Stronghold, which is you have to go in and kill everyone in a certain area, as well as, let me switch to Evie here because I'm gonna stealth this up a bit. You basically go in Gang Stronghold, clear out the gang, and the last one I think is my favorite, which strange enough is very interesting. Like you hear people at video game conferences or anyone's talking about a new video game. You have this new mechanic. You can go in. That's the new thing with video games. You have a choice. You can go about this any which way you please. But with this game, I feel like it's a lot of fun to go through the child liberation missions, just because it feels kind of more rewarding, like releasing children from factories. Let me try to stealth around this guy. No. Stealthing through factories, you can go and just beat up everyone. But basically the goal is to go in and kill a leader and then free different sets of... Oh, wow, he got messed up. Oh, chalk outline right there. But you go in, you free sets of children, and you have to basically kill the leader, which I found to be very fun. You just kind of have to sneak through. It's just, I don't know. I found a lot of enjoyment in that, and it's something that's not brand new, and I could definitely see how people that are just kind of sick of Assassin's Creed could kind of be fed up, like, oh yeah, that's just not all that great. I didn't see anything too great about that. Like, so yeah, see here I have a Knife Master on Eevee, and if you look down here, 19, but I get 20 throwing knives. 20 throwing knives. It should be illegal. It's so fun to have that much of an advantage and truly feel like a master assassin that you can just, beat up on people and go through and just, be what Assassin's Creed I felt has kind of lost. Sometimes it felt like you're kind of the underdog, but sometimes I do want to feel like a master assassin and go through and clear out whatever I'm clearing. But yeah, the clearing the areas. After you get a certain amount, you'll face off against that, like the City of London or, like I said, Lambeth. You face that areas. You see to the left, the gang leader, Cletus Strain. You get to fight the gang leader, which is kind of like a gang-on-gang battle. And then it was kind of weird with Salwork. Octavia Plum, the gang leader, kind of like tried to run away. I had to chase her, and I chased her into London. Whitechapel, the gang leader, Rexford, I battled him on a train, and that's honestly how I won the hideout for Assassin's Creed, the train hideout. But yeah, every gang leader is different. You face off against their gang leader to kill the gang leader, which honestly, it's tough, but really you just pull out a gun and like fire all of your rounds into them and you win. There is a cheap way to do it. And other than that, it's just a bit frustrating. Yeah, the rope gun definitely has some range on it. But it's a little bit frustrating trying to take on the boss, just, because I was trying to face Rexford, the very first boss that you face, because it's kind of a mission in the game to take over Whitechapel. Not the band, the place. But I felt it was just so much easier. It was getting frustrating because every time he would just kind of stab me in the head, and I was like, come on, I can't beat this. How am I supposed to do this? I just ended up firing, like 10 rounds into him, and I was like, all right, yeah, I want to train. Essentially, Assassin's Creed. Oh god, I hate the cops. They're so annoying. Well, not in real life, but I'm just talking about in the game. But Assassin's Creed is largely the same. It's just with me, I approach this one in a much more. This is where I met Charles Dickens, I think, the first time. Oh, and speaking of Charles Dickens, you get various missions around London. Let's see if I can find it here. Charles Dickens. Essentially, the Charles Dickens memories are going to quote-unquote haunted houses, which is fun. They made a side quest fun, helping Charles Dickens or Robert Topping, the different people. There's Alexander Graham Bell in the game, helping these different people. I like the characters, and for the first time in an Assassin's Creed game, I kind of felt attached to some of the characters. With Black Flag, I kind of lost track of a lot of the characters, and I didn't know who I was killing after a while. With this game, I've been taking my time, which I feel is definitely a recommendation. You just take your time, don't try to do it all at once, and, again, take your time, and for me, it kind of made me remember who I was assassinating, and I was able to keep up with the plot. But essentially, it's an Assassin's Creed game. Some stuff goes down. The Templars are way ahead of you. They have everything. A guy named Starrick, he controls London, and the Templars have pieces of Eden. They have everything, and you're playing from behind like in Assassin's Creed. The Templars always seem to beat you. Let's recruit this guy. Come on, let's go mess up this guy that was giving me a funny look up here. Where'd he go? Well, let's go after him. But Starrick controls all of London. you can order them to fight the people. Nothing that new in Assassin's Creed, but it's pretty fun. You just have to watch out for the cops again. See if you messed them up. I'll finish the job. But Stara controls London. It's a classic Assassin's Creed story. It's, I haven't, to be fair, I haven't played through all of it. I'm about halfway through, to be honest. There are a max of 10 levels in the game. I'm level 5. I've unlocked a decent amount of the map. But it's Assassin's Creed. You really get where it's going. And I think it wouldn't be fair if I was, I had all these complaints with the game. I would want to play through it. But honestly, from the point I'm at in the game, I think this game is very refreshing, very fun. There are a couple, like the new rope gun tool is very fun. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be a pain in the butt to use, but at least for me, climbing feels a lot better in this game. I haven't really screwed up. The rope gun doesn't really screw up, which I was thinking, well, if they can't get climbing right, the rope gun is going to hit all these. But no. The one thing to keep in mind about the rope gun is you can't use it while you can use it while you're running, but you have to be on like a surface, you can't use it like Spider-Man style, like you jump in the air, because essentially it is a zip line, so it has to connect, you see there, so you can't really use it in the air if it's like, you're trying to run away from someone. So I could see maybe in one of those situations, but otherwise it's extremely fun. It's so convenient. I ziplined from Whitechapel all the way over to Westminster in like no time flat. Let's take a second, check out Big Ben Roethlisberger over here. I actually believe the clock was named after the football player from America, Big Ben Roethlisberger. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, essentially just a straightforward kind of Assassin's Creed game, but they brought fun back into it. I think that was the thing that was missing from Unity, was a lot of the different stuff that was kind of fun. A lot of the characters that historically are very interesting, Napoleon, Robespierre, I just felt that they were kind of flat, that I didn't have enough interaction. It just didn't feel like there was that much depth to the game. But this game, it feels a lot more depth. I like a lot more of the characters. Again, Alexander Graham Bell is kind of a weirdo. Let's check out Westminster here. The game looks pretty cool. As you can see, there's not a ton of range up here because it is London. It is Industrial Revolution era London. There's a lot of smoke in the sky. That kind of feels, it like it should. I want to get this right. Okay, this way I suppose. Yeah, you still get the leap off the buildings and everything. The game looks really good. A couple of the rooftop areas they kind of reused from Unity, I think, but that's no bother. When you look at a lot of the architecture of the game, it just looks so cool, especially when you start getting into some of the just the regular flat areas, like the flats of like Lambeth and stuff. They're really cool. And nice little areas like this. It feels, when I first started playing the game, it felt like a bit like Grand Theft Auto, just because of like streets. I don't know. I felt really weird about that at first, but it was really fun. And let's do a little driving around here. One of the new mechanics of the game that I don't know, I feel is kind of weird. It's interesting. Like in Grand Theft Auto, other drivers are very slow. They're taking their time everywhere. You get a bit of a boost here. You're always running into things. That's one thing I felt, that I always seem to be running into things, whether I attempt to or not. You can ram things. Let's ram these people. Let's hope they aren't cops. See, you can ram that guy. Just a lot of fun. I'm so glad they brought fun back into Assassin's Creed. Let's get off. Check out this little area here. Oop. You can go to rooftops on it. Again, I'm getting chased by people. You know what? Let's show off a little bit of the combat here. No? Alright. Let's fight this guy. See, a lot of the cane fighting is... Oh, they're level 8. Yeah, that's right. let's get out of here. They're a little too high level for me, which is one thing I felt is appropriate in the game. Some areas, levels are too high, and you kind of can't go there yet. Like Westminster is one thing you could agree with or disagree with when it comes to video games is that, you know, they seem to reserve the biggest and, you know, the grand areas for last. Like Westminster is down in the corner with the highest level missions. Like this is suggested level 8, 9, and where you start in the game, Whitechapel, it's what, like 3, 2, 3. So in the better areas, you really have to wait, which is sometimes disappointing, but you can go and you can explore. Let's see if we can get a cock in the screen there. But yeah, this game looks great. It feels great. It's extremely fun. What is this? The monument to the fire in London. But yeah, just a lot of really cool stuff you can look around, and it feels relatable. You know, like people that you know, historical figures that you know, like Alexander Graham Bell, Charles Dickens, Charles Darwin. A lot of people, it feels, in that sense, relatable. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Boom. There are women in this game. You can beat up women. You know, bring in a little bit of Grand Theft Auto influence into this game with the streets. Bring a little NFL influence into this game with the beating up of women. You know, the whole deal. But essentially, you know, I'm just running around right now. But that's one of the funnest parts of this game, honestly. You know, I always hear whatever people are giving a conference saying, oh, well, there's this and there's that and so many areas to explore. With that, by now, sometimes it feels to me that it's like there's just a lot of stuff. There's not always quality, but there's just quantity. With me, I love just going around, seeing the different neighborhoods because they are different. Some of the different landmarks. Again, you have, of course, the database, encyclopedia, locations, like Westminster. You know, all the different places, Houses of Parliament, Scotland Yard, you know, places that I know and I've heard of. The present day stuff, though, don't get that's one thing I almost forgot to mention because it is very forgettable. I don't know what's going on in the present day stuff. It's, you know, I wasn't around to play the earlier Assassin's Creed games when they came out. You know, I ended up playing through earlier games, and the storyline with Desmond in modern day is a storyline. Now I don't really know what exactly is going on. Some people in an office, things blowing up, people running. You don't get to play in the modern day in this game either. It's not even Black Flag. You don't get to go to your little setup and walk around. It's just you're watching a camera. You're watching someone basically talking and you don't know what's going on. So yeah, it's still Assassin's Creed in a lot of ways. I think the climbing, maybe that's just me. It's improved for me. I haven't had any trouble. It's a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to do around there. The gang activities are kind of fun. It spruces up the game a little bit. If you're firmly against Assassin's Creed, you'd think, oh, I'm never going to buy another one after Unity. This might not change your mind. But for me, if you approach it from a standpoint of
So yeah, Keith and I kind of echo a lot of what Keith and Luke just said, but we're going to show you a little bit of live stuff. So you always start off in your own base, your own bullshit here. Your team needs to clear this shit out. As you see there, it tells you how many attackers are remaining, and I just got killed by a soldier. That never happens. So right now, I can access my rec stuff. This is what I was saying earlier about those requisition packs. See, now I can summon scout warthogs. You have to be a certain level to do some of this stuff.
So you can't just spawn in a tank like right off the bat.
Yeah, so as you see down the bottom, you'll see an experience bar. Right now I'm at level 2, and I have 2 rec points, which are the green dots. For example, a mantis is 8 rec points, so you need to be at level 8, I believe, and then you need to have 8 rec points in order to spawn it. So this is the West Armory. There's an East Armory on this map, and then there's always a middle section on every map. There's 3 maps for Warzone. And the middle section here is called the Fortress. As you see there is an AI boss. That boss is worth 150 points. So in order to score points, so the game is either 1,000 points to win, or say my team right now captures the fortress in the East Armory, it opens up the other team's home base, we go in and destroy their core, and then we win. That's only happened to me once, and I was on the winning side.
Yeah,
that was pretty fun.
Tore through.
So these AI bosses can really swing the match whichever way, man. I mean, especially these legendary bosses that are worth 150, that can give your team a huge leg up, because in order to score, say right now my team, we have 1 base, the other team has 1 base, so when I get a kill, it's only going to be 1 point. If we were to have 2 bases, my kill is worth 2 points. So killing is nice, but unless you have more than 1 point, which most of the time one of the teams will, it's not going to do that much. So taking out the AI bosses is pretty important. And as you see, the other team killed that legendary boss, so now they're ahead by like 150 points. So they're going to whoop our ass. Yeah, Warzone is intense. I find out of all the matches that I have played, most of them end up being lopsided. Either I'm on the victory or I'm on the defeat, But when the matches are close, that was really stupid, right? When the matches are close, it's literally one of the best multiplayer experiences that you can have. Just coordinating with your teammates on which areas to go, I'm going to go take out this legendary boss. Okay, a couple of us go over there, but we really got to hold the points that we have, the bases that we have, so we can, stay on the up and win. It's thrilling, man. And the matches are pretty long. I'd say they're about 20 to 30 minutes most of the time. But it's seriously one of the greatest multiplayer experiences you can have, in my opinion, especially for Halo. It just works so freaking well. But I agree with what a lot of these guys said about the weapons. The weapons are all really good in multiplayer, I find. All the abilities really change how Halo plays, but at the same time, it's still Halo. Halo has never played better than this. This is by far the best that Halo has ever played in this entire game, both campaign and multiplayer. The 60 frames per second seriously makes a difference. This game has like a dynamic resolution, so it'll scale, but that frame rate is locked at 60 seconds. And to be honest with you, the scaling, I haven't really noticed it at all. I don't have an eye for that shit, so it doesn't bother me. But the frame rate is what makes the biggest difference, because Halo's usually been 30 frames per second, but at 60 it just feels so good. One thing I'm going to say is that the controls, the default controls, yeah, personally for me, someone that's played every single Halo game and played the living shit out of all of them, they just were not working, man. I was pressing left trigger to try to throw a